Good day to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska, and this is Poland Daily Culture about books. I know that no one reads today. Anyway, that's why we're shooting a video about it. But here with me is Will Richardson, an author.
There's my book. Yeah, I know that people don't read, and I wrote this, though. I wrote this as a book for people who don't like reading, in a sense, because I wrote it, I tried to write this as I would always write my newspaper articles. I wrote a lot of newspaper
Well, it's definitely a page-turner, and I do enjoy it very much, especially for those people who are already very good in English, for example, those Poles, but they want extended vocabulary and they want to have some fun and not reading, for example, newspapers. That's a very good choice. But let's start with the beginning, so we're based on the ground, so people
You want
hear
me to
actually.
read from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, Book 1, Origin of the Species. It started like this. I was born smack dab in the middle of the century on June 30th, 1950 in Utopia, Florida, just a couple of days after the North Koreans captured Seoul. The year Bobby Jason Mann, that's me, entered the world was also the year Truman ordered the first advisors into Vietnam. It was the year of the Great Brinkst robbery, and the year Jerusalem became the capital of Israel. Ingrid Bergman had an illegitimate child and caused a big ruckus. Joe McCarthy said the State Department was full of communists. Albert Einstein warned about the dangers of nuclear war, and T.S. Eliot warned about the dangers of television. There were pro-communist riots in Paris. Adenauer tried to unite East and West Germany. That'd never been tried before, but it didn't work out. Poland, where I'd eventually make my fortune, exiled its Germans, and the government confiscated all church property. The first VW microbus came off the assembly line. Apartheid became law in South Africa. L. Ron Hubbard published Dianetics. Dr. Wernher von Braun proposed that rockets could go to the moon. The Pope saw the miracle of the sun, the same thing that had happened at Fatima at the Vatican. Miracles happen, but I reckon the bigger miracle was the United States beating the English in soccer that summer. Truth or Consequences appeared on the new dream machine called television. Charlie Brown was in the funny papers for the first time. The Chinese invaded Tibet. Mother Teresa went to Calcutta. The first jet-to-jet dogfight took place in Korea. Score 2 MiGs for the good guys. And so forth and so forth. So it's a list. But
it takes us to many places. First of all, what I was thinking about is, okay, T.S. Eliot had something against the television. Why? And the other thing is that put us, of course...
well, he was afraid it would lead to Facebook and the total narcissism of our
society.
Our culture, narcissism of our culture. Yeah.
Well, not a bad warning,
Here I am talking
actually.
about my book. Oh, isn't it wonderful? Oh, not wonderful. No, I read the book. It was hard work.
Well,
if everybody had to work as hard as I did to write this book, they wouldn't write books. I guarantee you. I'm not sure I can do it again.
Of course, writing a good book is a lot of hard work. It burns you out sometimes.
Yeah. I wrote the sequel at the same time. Thank God I don't have to start that. I actually did write the sequel at the same time. What happens at the end of the book?
Nice.
Yeah. I'm not telling anyone what happens. You've got to read it to find out.
Absolutely.
But just start at the back. Yeah.
No, it doesn't actually bring a fun, because even if the main character dies in the end, then you didn't go with him through the whole problems, then you're not attached to him emotionally. And that's also almost the biggest issue. Like every love story is about the same thing.
Well, maybe he dies at the end and it takes place in heaven or hell, knowing this guy. But because I didn't disclose what happens at the end, whether he lives or dies. But there is a sequel. And it doesn't go back in time, because there's nowhere to go before. So.
Okay, so it seems like he actually needs to live, or his children.
Yeah, but it's a mystery.
Okay.
It's a mystery. The end of the book is a mystery, which is taken up in the second book and explains the mystery. And then we go back and see different points of view of this story. We see different points of view of those events through his addled mind.
So, just going back to with the Poland part, if you can tell us how he get to Poland.
How did he get to Poland? Well, since it's based on reality, this is a fellow who had been a cowboy selling cows to the Iraqis during the time of Saddam Hussein, at the end of the 1980s, during the time of the Iran-Iraq War, actually. And there's a really, really amazing scene that takes place during the war involving a plane load of cows, and I won't tell you what happens. But it's very exciting and funny and scary.
About when the plane was packed. Okay. I wouldn't go into details, but it's a really fun story.
And it's a true story. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but it's a true story. There's a lot of things in this book that are hard to believe, but that are actually true. And remember, I went to Central America. I wrote this book in Central America, Vietnam, Central Europe, including Poland, and the United States. So I was in a lot of the locations. I didn't go to Africa.
Yeah, so let's say, how long did you write this book? For how long?
It took me 3 years, a lot of it really full time. Certainly I spent a whole year doing nothing but this book. Nothing, really. That was what the work I did for a whole year. And a lot of that was in Nicaragua. And, but I did subsequent revisions and things like that, and it went to various editors and agents and all kinds of stuff like that. It just took a while to get it published. But I suppose the really hard work was done, both books being written, this one and the sequel, in about 3 years.
Okay.
And this is 300 pages, and the other one's about 500. So
almost becoming Saint Aquinas. Keep writing so much.
Wow.
Well, he was able to...
St. Vitus is more like it.
to write really quickly a lot of pages.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't writing that quickly. I was just spending all my time doing it. It's amazing how much you can write if you spend all your time doing it. Graham Greene, for example, is a writer that I really think is amazing, like many other people, obviously. And Graham Greene used to get up every morning and write 500 words. And that was it. And then he'd go have his day. But he did it every day. And so, or virtually every day.
Yes.
And so when you do that, the words add up, don't they? You've got 60,000 words in 4 months.
Yeah, the discipline is usually a clue to a lot of successes, and we'll put it down here.
You have to be disciplined, that's true.
Wrap up this episode with this urge of discipline to all our viewers. But let's say also a few words of encouragement. Reading books is truly important. We already a little bit forget about it, but it broadens up our vocabulary, our imagination. It gives us our intimate moment with a character. It's truly important. And that's why we also encourage you all together to read books, as you can see many books behind us. But the most important, read also Will Richardson's book, Rome. And thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.